It is what it is. On right, we are live. We are live now. It is what it is. Normally asks me if I can name the live or whatever, but it's not asking me. It's not asking me if I can name the line. Anyway, there we go. Right, good morning to everybody. Good morning. If you are, no one's joined us yet on any of the other platforms. It just says Facebook. Why is there no? Why is YouTube not kicked in? I don't know. I'm new to all this. I'm new to all these things. Oh no, it says I should be on both. It says I should be on. Yeah, it says I should be on both. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see who comes in. See who can see me. It only says Facebook on the stream. Anyway, there we go. Right, let's do the top 5 on TikTok. Let's have a look. See who's in. Right, let's scan up and in. Number 1 is Sheila. I nearly said Sheila then. Sheila's in at number 1. Faye's in at number 2. Adam's in at number 3. Carol's in at number 4. And Karen G is in at number 5. Guys, good morning. Thank you very much for jumping straight on the live, coming and saying hello. Oh, I've got 2 on YouTube now and 3 on Facebook. Good morning to you guys as well. As always, I'm over here on the TikTok stream. I'm over with you guys on Facebook and YouTube on the computer stream. So phone is TikTok. I hope you've all had a great weekend. I've had a really good weekend this weekend. It's cold. I'm here. I've got my bobbly hat on. The bobbly hat on he's on. I'm sat here looking at frost outside. Have you got a frosty morning where you are? I don't mind it being frosty. Just don't rain. Just stay dry. That's all I want. Right? That is all I want. I just want it to stay dry. That's all I'm after. Right? That is all I am after. As long as it stays dry, I'm happy. I'm an happy chap. Right, well, let me edit this and see if I can edit it. No, it's all good. Anyway, right. Let's see what else in this morning. Paul is in. Good morning. Dodgy, good morning, mate. I hope you are well. James in. Good morning, pal. Karen H. Good morning. Donna, Jill, Jane, morning or Maureen. Good morning to you too. Yeah, it is cold this morning. We've got a lot of cold emojis. Morning, Blue Eyed Floozy. Good morning over on YouTube and Bex as well. Good morning to you all. Claire, good morning. Jerry's in, morning, and Helen's in as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The cottage cheese bites were yummy. Yeah, I thought they were really good. Someone said this morning, don't flatten them down. The heat will flatten them down themselves. So I was like, okay, and I put them on too hot. I did them at 200. I didn't see the video. I probably should have read the description. I didn't see in the video that I looked at what heat. So I put them on at 200. I thought, and then thinking back, I'm like 200 in a fan oven when you're cooking like a little bit of cottage cheese for 40 minutes is probably. So mine were a little bit well done, but they were nice. And I know that guy that I got him off. He's all he's low carb and all that nonsense, but still, it's just something a little bit different because I'm thinking with them cottage cheese like chips thing, like if you're having a salad, you can make them and just chop them up and add them in just for a bit of crunch, a bit of texture. Likewise, they're nice just the way they are. I had one later on with a little bit of, I put them back in the air fryer. I had 2 that didn't like crunch up. They kind of were quite full. Anyway, I whacked them in the air fryer a bit later on, drizzled a little bit of hot honey on, and that was absolutely sensational. Really, really good. It's fresh this morning. It is very fresh this morning. Morning, boss. -1 here. You'll definitely be colder than I am, Ryan. You're a little bit further north, but yeah, there's cars frozen over. This morning, and it was wet yesterday, so it'll be one of them where your car door will be stuck. But that's the only thing. When it goes cold like this and it's been wet, you get ice, and I do not like ice. Not when I'm walking about trying to walk the dog and stuff. I know what kettlebell exercise or routines would you recommend for a beginner? Never lifted before. Do you know what, Lou? I've not really got any, to be honest with you. Not that I could recommend off YouTube. I've not looked at YouTube for ages and stuff like that. I did a kettlebell workout actually on my TikTok years ago. Now this would be when I was in the RLB gym. So we're talking. I tend to post a piece of content every day, so you probably have to sift through 1,000 1,000 videos to find it, but you know, there we go. But I haven't really got a specific one. But yeah, if you just have it, honestly, YouTube's such a good source for anything. If you just put something like beginner kettlebell workout, see what the reviews are, ratings are. There'll be loads on there. Loads on there. I do love working with kettlebells. They're a very versatile piece of kit when it comes to training. Right, I've lost £6 this week. I'm buzzing. Blue-eyed floozy, fantastic. You should be buzzing. Just remember, and I always say this when people come on to lives and they say I've lost a large amount of weight in a week. And I'm not trying to. I always use the terminology. I'm not trying to wee on anybody's chips. I'm not going to swear because I'm on YouTube. YouTube does not like swearing too much. So yeah, but yeah, I'll use that terminology. I don't like weeing on anyone's chips. But just remember, the scales show weight loss. They don't show just fat loss, if that makes sense. So basically, 4 things bring the scales down. And generally, when we lose a large amount of weight in 1 week, right, it's because you've not just lost body fat, you've lost some excess water retention, your food, especially at the start of your journey. So this is a really common one. When we start a journey, and this is something I always tell my clients when most of my clients, not all, I'm not saying all, but most of my clients get what we call a whoosh effect when you start a journey. So when you start eating healthier, eating less calories, moving more on a day-to-day basis, which is generally what a lot of people put into play when it comes to weight loss, as it were. A lot of things initially bring the scales down. Now, if you're consistent with your journey, once you reduce your water weight, your average food weight, and any excess water retention in the body, things will stay more stable then. And then generally when you weigh, unless you're weighing every day or every week, but if you follow me, you should know my philosophies on weight. Those are my philosophies on weight. You weigh when you want to. I recommend that you weigh every 2 weeks. That's my philosophies for weighing. But you weigh when you want to. But if you weigh every 2 weeks and you're consistent with your journey, you're going to see a loss. You might see an initial loss of £6 and then 1 week and then £4 the next week, something like that. That can happen depending on how big you are at the start of your journey. And then after that, it will slow down to £1, £2 a week. And this is where people get really frustrated. They're like, well, I'm not doing anything different. I've gone from losing this much weight to this much weight. Now, don't get me wrong. When we get this initial drop, it is still weight loss. So we should still be happy with it. And what it does show is, when we get what we call a whoosh effect, where you lose a large chunk of weight in a short period of time, especially at the start of your journey, it shows you've hit the ground running. Right, it shows you've put the effort in. And it is still weight loss is weight loss, whether you lose it all through. So anyone that drops £6, and £6 is a lot of weight, and whether £1 of that is body fat and £4 or £5 of that is average food weight, average water weight, it's still a good loss on the scale. So you should be dead chuffed with yourself for that. But why I always say about I don't want to wee on anyone's chips is, you get so many people, this is a Slimming World mentality. You join Slimming World and first week you lose, £6. Second week you lose £3. Next week you lose £2. And then you start getting a little bit frustrated. Why? Because they don't explain things like this to you. 4 or 5 weeks down the line, then you get your 1 stone loss badge. So that picks you back up, right? And you're buzzing again. And then after that, you're down to just losing £1 a week. And then you get a bit demoralized. So I just don't want people to think that when they start a weight loss journey, they're going to lose £6 every single. That's why I say it, right? It's just a bit of a reality sort of thing, just so people understand. So when they're doing the same thing in 8 weeks' time that they did in week 1, and they're now losing £1 a week instead of £6, well, you know what? That's it. That's just the education. It's better off than off. Absolutely, 100%. Even if it's just water, it's made 100%. Absolutely, just as I just said there. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's like, when you come back from a holiday, you feel bloated, or even after, you get to the end of Christmas that's happening, and you're bloated, New Year's Day, you wake up, you finish off what food's in the fridge, you're absolutely bloated, and you get on the scales like, oh my God, I'm 14 pounds heavier. Well, it's the reverse. Everyone's like, oh my God, I've gained a stone over Christmas. You've not gained a stone of body fat, you've gained a stone in weight, and a massive chunk of that weight will just disappear. Tracy, morning, I've medically been put on a low date diet. Is that a low carb diet? I love to watch your cooking videos. What, medically, why a low carb diet? I always get very, very worried. Like I'm, you know, in terms of nutrition, I've got a lot of experience. Level 3, level 4. Why a low carb diet? I don't know. I always get worried about this. Like if it's a doctor or something like that, yeah. Like I don't know really. There's not really many medical conditions why why a low carb diet is necessary. Epilepsy is one. So if you have seizures, certain seizures, it is proven, especially in kids, that a lower carb diet is. But there's not, you know, people are like, well, I'm diabetic. No, you don't need to go on a low carb diet if you're diabetic. You might need to improve your carbs that you get into your system. You know, probably should be less cakes and biscuits if that's been the thing, right? But you know, I've reversed type 2 diabetes in a lot of clients in the last few years. They all eat carbohydrates, not a low carb diet, right? A normal carb diet, you know, 50-60% of their diet, 50-60% of my diet's carbohydrates. Now, and this is the thing with carbs. A lot of people, when we say the word a low fat diet, okay, a low fat diet, is different. Generally, a low fat diet is normally around like if you've got gallbladder issues. Okay, so fat metabolizes through the gallbladder, and if you don't have a gallbladder anymore, some people have them removed, or your gallbladder isn't working, then a low fat diet. Obviously, as well, heart issues, low fat diet, 100%. So that makes more sense. There's a lot of medical conditions where a lower fat diet is definitely beneficial, 100%. And the thing is, you know, fat is not the enemy, right? Nothing's the enemy. Sugar's not the enemy. Saturated fats aren't the enemy. Trans fats aren't the enemy, right? What is the enemy for every single person on the planet is overconsumption. That's what the enemy is, right? Overconsumption is the enemy. And if we overconsume anything, including water, it becomes toxic to the body, right? But we do have to understand that certain things are a lot easier to overconsume than others. So it's a lot easier to overconsume saturated fat and sugars for them to become toxic to the body than it is water, yeah? Now, it just so happens I'm a weight loss coach, right? And the most calorific macronutrients, we have 3 macronutrients that we consume. Anything you eat is made up of 1, 2, or all 3 macronutrients. And that is proteins, fats, and carbs, right? And then whatever the predominant macronutrient is in a food, we would tend to then label that food as that source. So basically, if you eat bread, for instance, has fat, protein, and carbs in it, yeah? But it's predominantly carb-based, so we call it a carbohydrate, whereas a steak has protein and fat in it, but it has more protein than anything, even if it's a fatty cut of meat. Generally, it'll have more protein in it. Might be different if it's a Wagyu steak, but not many people eat those because they can't afford to. I can't. So we'd call that a protein. So anything we eat contains proteins, fats, or carbs. The most calorific is fat, whether it's healthy fats or unhealthy fats, right? Fat is 9 calories a gram. So Tracy's just said there over on Facebook that she likes my recipes, and that's because I'm a weight loss coach. So calories are king when it comes to weight loss, and the best way to reduce our calorie intake is to reduce our fat intake. Not cut it out altogether, but too many people eat too heavy a fat diet. Fat is also one of the, it's not proven, it's very inconclusive evidence to this when we talk about actual pure addictive properties of food. But out of all trials that have been done, fat is shown to be a lot more addictive if it does have it than anything. You know, people think they're addicted to sugar. You're not. I guarantee, and I say this all the time, all the foods that any of you guys, whatever format you watch this on, any of the foods that you are eating, right? That you are eating, and you say it's because you're addicted because of sugar. I guarantee it's got a higher fat content due to calories than it has sugar, Right? Chocolate's number one. Chocolate has way more calories. Well, not way more, but chocolate has more calories in it from fat than it does from sugar. Yeah, if you're a chocoholic, you'll say you're a sugar addict. Nope, you're eating more fat than sugar. Yeah. Right. Let me scanning down through TikTok, see what's going on. Let me have a scan up. Morning, boss. I have a shoulder injury. What's better, a physio or chiropractor if you have any experience? Do you know what? Well, chiropractors are backs, so a physio would be better. Chiropractor is more around your back. So I would say a physio. A physio is kind of a jack of all trades, as it were. But it all depends where the injury's from. You know, if it's a joint injury, you're better off going to a physio. If it's a muscle injury, you're better off going to an osteopath. So it's kind of one of them. But generally, a physio will, like I say, they'll be a bit of a jack of all trades. They'll know a bit of everything. And then if you can diagnose what the injury is, then you might need to look more of a specialist. Shoulders are a nightmare. They take ages to heal. Very small muscle group. So if you've injured it, certainly, you know, I'm very conscious. I've torn both my rotator cuffs in the past, which adds stabilization to the shoulder. They never heal properly again. So yeah, and if you know, if you've damaged a rotator cuff, 6-12 months you're out. See you later. Like from doing any major like shoulder work, really, for a lot of different movements. So yeah, I'd probably head to a physio first, and then see if you can get to the bottom of the issue. And then if you know what the issue is, then you can go in a little bit more, a little bit deeper. You might go into a bit more of a specialist. Like I say, like osteopaths are generally around muscle, chiropractors are generally around backs. You know, there's lots of different, like, yeah, that, you know, if you do, you know, you get people that are sports massage specialists, and they're generally, I'm not saying this is the case because you can do degrees in it, they're generally less qualified than like physio, but sports massage is just more about getting some movement into the muscle, right? And you don't need anyone that's, you know, you go to a sports masseuse generally not because you've got an injury. You go to a sports masseuse just to have a good rub down, basically. So there's all different things. Tracy, down to my gallbladder. There we go. Yeah, so low fat diet. So yeah, all my recipes, I'm not saying 100% of them, but yeah, I'm very, very conscious. So I'm always using a lot of low fat spreads. Not spreads, to be honest with you. I don't use margarines or anything like that. I know all these people go, oh, don't eat margarine, it's full of plastic and this and that. That's not the case. They sort of go, oh, there's, you know, what we need to understand is everything in the world is made up of chemicals. Everything in the world is made up of chemicals. Are certain chemicals that are present in margarine also going to be present in plastic? Yeah, it doesn't mean it's the same chemical, and it doesn't mean you can eat, you know, if you eat margarine, you're eating plastic. It's just, you can jump onto anything. You know, at the end of the day, this is 2 parts hydrogen, right? H2O, right? 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, right? Hydrogen is also the element that was used to basically end the Pacific War in World War II when 2 bombs were dropped on, was it Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? The Americans dropped 2 hydrogen bombs on Japan. 2 parts hydrogen. Well, you can't drink do not drink water, right? 2/3 of water is what is present in what goes into bombs that's killed thousands of people at the end of World War. You can put a spin on anything to make it sound, you know, don't drink, you know, you heard of hydrogen cars, right? Hydrogen powered cars. I know they're not that common, but yeah, hydrogen extracted from what? You're drinking car fuel if you drink water because it's hydrogen. See what I mean? Yeah. So we can put a spin on anything, but I don't eat spreads, really. I eat butter. I love butter, and I don't eat enough of it for it to become, you know, I'll buy a 200 gram block of butter that we put in our butter dish. We probably buy 1 a month. So, and there's 2 of us in the house. So that's 25 grams of butter a week on average, something like that. Yeah. So we don't eat a lot of things like that. But yeah, most of my recipes are, because they're low calorie recipes. There's 2 things that make food high in calories. Number one is your portion size. There's no relative. Number two is fat content. Right? You reduce your portion size, you reduce your fat content. Right? And this is why, when you volume foods, like for tea tonight, we're having sausage, mash, onion gravy. Right? Sausages, I'm getting low-fat sausages from my local butchers in Great Eccleston. Amazing sausage, absolutely sensational. In fact, I'm getting them. I've got them in my fridge. Right? So that's the sausage. Right? And then what I do is, because they're in the butchers, I don't know the calories, I weigh them. So I weigh the grammage of my sausage, and then I find a low-fat sausage that's sold branded mainstream, and I just put 150 grams of that in or something like that. It's the best thing you can do. You're never going to be a million miles out. So I get low-fat sausage from my local butchers. We're going to use Idaho and mash, which is it's fantastic mashed potato. Very, 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 very simple. Very, very quick and easy. Can't be asked peeling spuds or anything like that. Monday's a really busy day with work, so it's a quick tea. So sausage in the air fryer. Mash is like an instant mash, but it's fantastic. And then I'm going to bulk that out. So mash isn't you don't get the most volume for your calories with mash. You certainly don't with sausages. So how am I going to absolutely ramp the volume up of that dish? Carrots, Brussels sprouts, peas, I don't know, whatever veggies I decide to whack on that plate. Veg has no fat in it. Carrots, broccoli, peas, pretty much zero fat in all of those things, right? Which means they are super low calorie, which means you can eat an absolute shed ton of them, right? So I might have 200 grams of sausage, 200 grams of mash, right? And that 200 grams of sausage and 200 grams of mash might be 500 calories, right? And then I'm going to have 200 grams of veggies, 150 calories, right? So I'm going to double. 200 grams of sausages, 200 grams of mash, that's 600 calories. That's 400 grams of food, right? For 500 calories, right? And sorry, I could have another 400 grams of veg, which I'll probably have 150 grams of carrots, 150 grams of Brussels sprouts, say, and then 100 grams of peas, right? I will literally double the volume of my meal. I'll take it from a 400 gram meal to an 800 gram meal, nearly a kilogram of food for like another couple hundred calories on top. Yeah. I'm off to London for the day. I have to accept eating outside my calories for today. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Paula. If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. Remember, calories are for the week, not for the day. So we can just add them up. Haley, good morning. I have a question. Can you eat more than 30 grams of protein in one meal? I read on the internet you can't. Yeah, it's an absolute myth. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're on a weight loss journey, the main reason you're eating protein is to satiate you. It's to fill you up, right? And that comes from slowing down digestion. So it's irrelevant when the internet talks about eating protein. It's about how much protein the body can absorb at one time. That is only important for protein synthesis when it comes to building muscle. That is it, right? So unless you're going to the gym and lifting weights, it doesn't matter how much protein the body can absorb, because we eat a high protein diet on a weight loss journey. Now, if you're lifting weights at the same time, you're trying to build muscle while losing weight, that's fine. Then this might be relevant to you. But the internet saying, don't eat more than 30 grams of protein at a time because the body can't absorb it. That is only relevant for protein synthesis, because the protein has to go into the body, into the muscles to rebuild the muscles to make them bigger and stronger, right? If you eat, and I'll tell you why that is a myth anyway, shortly, but I always promote a high protein diet while we're on a weight loss journey. And the main reason for that high protein diet is, like I say, it's satiating. The more protein and fiber you put into your stomach, the more it slows down your digestion, right? Basically, it takes the body, it's a lot harder for the body to break down protein and fiber than it is fiber is carbohydrates, than it is for simple carbs and fat. So the more protein, so if you eat a meal and your meal is 80% carbohydrates, a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, you're going to be hungry again in an hour. You eat a meal that's 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 20% fat, or 35% protein, 15% fat, right? That will sit in here a lot longer and it will keep you fuller. Yeah? Once food, and that is the passing of food from the stomach sends signals to the brain to tell you you're full and when you're hungry, right? And then once it leaves the stomach, it goes into the small intestine. So the longer it takes for it to go from the stomach into the small intestine, the more it helps to control your appetite. And this is what your GLP-1s do, your weight loss injections. You know, everyone this morning on Manjaro's probably stuck a needle into, a little EpiPen. like that, right? I've had my 7.5 milligrams of Manjaro for the week. And that's all that basically does, is it slows down the digestion of food, right? Which is why it's very, very, and if you can combine that with a lot of fiber, yeah, a lot of people do complain with weight loss injections that they struggle to go to the toilet because it's slowing down the digestion of food. Yeah. Once whatever you eat, carbs, proteins, and fats go from the stomach into the small intestine, this is when the small intestine's job is to feed out all the nutrients from what you eat and send it into the body, or it feeds out bits from that and sends it into the body, right? Yeah, so into the body. And yeah, there is a big myth that don't eat more than 30 grams worth of protein because that's all the body can absorb at a time. It's not an instant process. This is the thing, all right? So if you are building muscle, you need protein to constantly be fed into your body. That's what the small intestine does, right? So let's say you ate, and it's all different for different people. Someone on here might only be able to take in 20 grams of protein at a time. Someone on here might be able to take in 100 grams of protein at a time. It's all different for different people. But it's not, when food hits the small intestine, it doesn't hit it for 10 minutes and then it's out, right? Our digestive tract, I don't want to get too scientific here, but I'm not going to get too scientific here, I never do. But our digestive tract is about 8 to 10 hours. So if you've gone to the toilet this morning for a number 2, it's what you ate 8 to 10 hours ago or longer, right? Because the body will store stuff. It depends how regular you are at going to the toilet. Yeah. And part of that digestive tract is the small intestine. The stuff sits in the small intestine 4 or 5 hours, then moves into the large intestine, into your bowel, and then comes out the other side, right? So, yeah, if you ate 100 grams of protein in one meal, will the body take all that protein in at once? No, it'll take it in when it needs it. It might take 30 grams in initially, and as it's moving along your small intestine, an hour later, I need more protein. It'll take a bit more in, and then a little bit more in, and then a little bit more in. Now, if all the protein you've eaten isn't absorbed by the body by the time it leaves the small intestine, then that will just come out the other end, right? But it's not, like I say, it's not a cut and shut. If you eat 130 grams of protein, and anyway, if you're on plan with me, you shouldn't be tracking macros. I know you're not. I know you're in the community, Haley. You're not directly on plan, but we don't look at protein in individual meals anyway. We don't just eat your protein. Like I say, I'm a weight loss coach, right? The job of protein is to keep you fuller for longer, right? And how much your body can absorb out of that, it doesn't matter, right? All I want to do is suppress your appetite. Yeah, it'll have a benefit because the more protein you eat, it reduces like things like muscle wastage and even if you're just walking about, it'll go to strengthen your legs and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not as cut and shut as those people make it. What have I done there? Oh, right. Just gonna have to disconnect my mouse on my computer. It's been a right burk at the moment. Hang on. It's not letting me scan up, so there's probably more things on the computer and I can't read them. Anyway, let me scan down to TikTok. The more carbs I eat, the more I want. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That's and it depends what carbs we're eating, right? So people say the more, Carl, you might be like, the more carbs I eat, the more I want. Like when you're talking carbs, like I say, we use carbs as a blanket term. So is it quite like, the more biscuits you eat, the more, yeah, because a lot of people eat biscuits when they're hungry. Well, biscuits aren't filling. So that's obvious. But carbs is also lentils, right? And there's not many people in the world who go, oh, yeah, lentils. The more lentils, oh, God, I can't eat lentils. Why? Because if I have one spoonful of lentils, I just need more and more lentils. It's like that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a psychological thing. It is a psychological thing. And we need to understand that a lot about our eating. We do need to understand that a lot about our eating, that it is a lot of it is a psychological thing. But a lot of people go, yeah, well, if I have one bag of crisps, I can't stop. It's not that if you have one bag of crisps, you can't stop. Like, this is around when we're hungry. So, if I'm hungry and well, don't eat crisps when you're hungry then. Like, let's be honest, tell the group here, there's 111 of you on TikTok and a few of you over here on Facebook and YouTube. How many of you get in from work, right, and you're hungry and you eat crisps. A bag of crisps is 25 grams, right? A multi-pack bag of crisps is 25 grams, right? So it's not like, oh, I eat one bag of crisps and next thing I've eaten 6 bags of crisps because I'm addicted to crisps. No, you're hungry and you're eating like the equivalent of a new potato. That is the potato content in one bag of crisps. Now, one new potato is about 10 calories, whereas a bag of crisps is 125 calories because they contain a lot of fat, right? But that's the reason. Same with biscuits, if you're peckish mid-afternoon and the biscuit tray comes out at work and you have one biscuit and you're like, oh, once I have one biscuit, I want loads more. Generally most people around 3-4 o'clock are hungry. All my clients at 3-4 o'clock, I say I recommend a protein shake mid-afternoon or a protein pudding or a protein yogurt, right? But if you're going to eat foods that digest very, very quickly, that aren't very filling, yeah, you are going to crave more of them for food-wise. Does that kind of make sense? So it's a lot of, and like I say, it's a psychological thing. Now, if you're hungry in the afternoon and you got home from work and you had 120 calorie protein yogurt, right, and then you had a bag of crisps after that, you wouldn't be then going, oh, I need another bag of crisps. No, because you've just eaten a 200 gram, 20 to 25 calorie yogurt. That'll do the job of filling you up. So it answers your hunger queries, right? And then if you fancy something a bit crunchy and a bit salty, which tastes delicious afterwards, have it, right? So instead of then consuming 6 multi-pack bags of crisps, which is so easy to do, just think about 6 multi-pack bags of crisps weighs 150 grams. Right? When I eat potato, when I do jacket potato, right, I want a 300 gram jacket spud. So a jacket spud, a 300 gram jacket potato that is 240 calories contains the same amount of potato that is present in 12 multi-pack bags of crisps. Don't eat crisps when you're hungry, or biscuits, or chocolate. Eat something that's going to fill you up. Right? Eat something that the body needs. If you then want a little bag of crisps afterwards, because I always eat I love crisps. I eat tons of the things, right? When I say tons of the things, I have a bag of crisps a day, right? So I've got a bag here of Rocket Racers. The pickle onion ones aren't great, but the beef Rocket Racers from Aldi actually are really, really good. They've really grown on me. They're a dupe of Space Raiders, right? This bag of crisps is 13 grams and 70 calories. But a lot of people go, when I say about these, they go, that won't even touch the sides. Touch the sides of what? It is crisps. I don't eat these because flipping heck, I am Hank Marvin. Pass me a 13 gram bag of crisps. I eat these because I enjoy eating crisps. There is nothing wrong with eating food that you enjoy, right? I like a bit of salt. I like a bit of crunch. I like a bit of flavour. It's a little bit different, right? Feels a bit more like a treat than eating an apple. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to apologise for that. Loads of people on social media will make you feel super guilty for enjoying some, what we would class as low nutritional foods, right? I never eat these when I'm hungry. I eat them because I just fancy a bag of crisps. And that's why I don't care that they're only 13 grams. I don't need them to touch the sides of anything. I don't need these to fill me up. Because if I was eating these when I was hungry, I'd want 50 bags of the bloody things. Does that kind of make sense? So, like I say, carbs is a blanket term. So people, like I just said there to Carlish, like when I eat, like what carbs? Like what, when you have a potato, I need more. Well, that's fine because potatoes are 80 calories per 100 grams. Eat a kilo of potatoes, they're 800 calories, right? And a kilo of potatoes is a load of them. Does that kind of make sense? Where are the Rocket Raiders from? I'll be honest with you, I have reviewed these because I love Space Raiders. They're absolutely amazing. And I think I was maybe a little bit harsh on them. The more I've had the beef ones are excellent. The pickle onion ones are they're no cheaper than Space Raiders, if I'm being. I think they're $1.29 for 6. And if you go to B&M and out and, Home Bargains, you get 6 packs of Space Raiders. I think for like the same money. I think they might be £1.50 or something like that instead of £1.30. I know 20p is 20p, but the beef ones are really, really good. And they're 70 calories. So it's just great portion control. Like I say, if I was eating these to fill me up, yeah, I'd be like that. But again, we've got Rachel's mum's on Saturday for a party. I love these party mix. Right? These are amazing. I'll tell you why these are amazing, because they're super light. And these are for Rachel's party for nibbles when we're at the party, right? But these are super light. So you weigh out 20 grams of these, and you feel like you're getting a lot more volume, right, than you are. But this whole bag here, there's 100 grams, I think, in here. Are these 100 grams? 125 grams. So these are 125 grams. So a full bag of these, right, is over 500 calories. This whole bag wouldn't fill me up. I could demolish that bag and still be wanting more food. Right? So don't eat crisps when you're hungry. Right? And just remember, like I say, carbohydrates is a blanket term. Yeah. So yeah, it's if you were, again, brown rice, white rice, brown pasta, right? Oats. These are all carbohydrates. They won't initiate cravings. Yeah. Royster's T-bone steak or our current crisp of choice. Great crisp. Top tier crisp. I'm a very basic bitch when it comes to crisps. I'm not going to lie. I do quite like, I'm very much salt and vinegar, number one. Cheese and onion, ready salted. But there are certain, certain random flavors of crisps I really do enjoy. And Royster, yeah, they're banging, aren't they? They're banging. Very, very good crisp. £108 a share, amazing. What do you mean now? I look different. Is this normal? Yeah, Beck, it really, really is. Great question. So, and it's something I really suffered with. But tell me what you're suffering with, Beck, in terms of body image. What you suffering with? I suffered with body dysmorphia. In 2016. I'll be honest with you, my weight, I've personally felt my weight loss didn't make me look any better, right? And what I mean by that is, like, when I lost all my weight and I had a lot of loose skin, I actually felt I felt like I could look at myself better in the mirror at 37 stone than I could when I was 20 stone, because I've got all this loose skin everywhere. And looking back now, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that, if I'm being honest with you. And I think you don't like something new, and it's hard to adapt to something new. The truth is, I've been, obviously I've looked at being vague. I'm probably over 20. I would call it 10. And I like 9. I'm used to this. And in fact, I've had some skin removal operations, right? And what, right? Really, 3 years ago, my second skin removal operation I had was 2019, and my chest was in 2016. So still very new. But I've got loose skin everywhere still. On my legs, I've got it on my car. When I watch back videos, like TikTok, I'm used to it. But when I see myself in the kitchen, I obviously edit it to just the film bits, but I leave the camera running for like half an hour. And when I'm going through and I see myself walking off, I'm like, God, I've got loads of loose skin on my hips, on my back. I'm used to 7 stone, but probably 10. So when I saw something different, I wasn't used to it. Now, right, and I've always I need skin to get done. I had bits done on my stomach, but I've still got tons of stuff. I don't care about it, and I think it's just this weight now for now. So I'm getting used to this on my hips, and all this skin here. I'm just used to it. I'm getting used to my bingo wings. They're just part of me now. So it's just time. It's just time. What my fleur de lis? I don't actually know. I don't know. There's a guy I follow on Instagram called Obese to Beast, and he's been at it a lot longer than me, and he was really only. I think he lost all his weight at 21. He's never had any loose skin removed, and he's very lean. He's a lot leaner than I am, and he's still got a lot of. When he's got his shirt off or something like that, you can still see, and he doesn't have loose skin as bad as I had it, but he still has quite a bit of loose skin, to be fair to him. And he's never had any skin removal operations. And yeah, he's just kind of like, people ask him all the time, it's like, oh, it's just me now, I'm just used to it. So yeah, I just think, as the saying goes, time is a healer. Time is a healer. I just feel not confident in myself, and like I don't look different. I literally hate how clothes look on me too. Yeah, and again, it's all very, very subjective. So, but yeah, I'm kind of with you there. So I lost my weight. I used to wear a lot of vests to trap my skin in. And now I'm just not bothered. I just let it hang out. It's just who I am as a person. My body dysmorphia. So I really did that at the beginning of my journey. But when I started removal operations, I had my chest. I want my chest doing. I literally had a plan to have it all done within 5 years. To literally all done within 5 years. Obviously, maybe COVID changed that. But yeah, one chest done, and my stomach, I was like, do you know what? Is it that bad? Then I got body dysmorphia. My chest caused body dysmorphia. So body dysmorphia is when you see something different than what you actually are, right? Basically. And it can happen in all different, if you are currently not overweight, but you think you're fat, that's body dysmorphia. So, you're a 10 stone person and you're a 20 stone person in the mirror. Body dysmorphia. Now, what a lot of people do to try and correct that is keep losing weight. I just need to, no, that's an eating disorder. Right? How you get body dysmorphia, it's a psychological issue. You don't correct a psychological issue by carrying on losing weight. You correct a psychological issue by tackling what's going on. Yeah, you have to tackle what's going on in here. So, when I had my chest done, I kind of like, when I looked up here, I kind of saw normal, if that makes sense, whatever normal is. And then when I looked down here, I had all this loose skin. And then, yeah, I just kind of felt like I'm getting heavier, I'm getting bigger. I'm like, I'm putting all my weight back on. And that wasn't the case at all. Because I get on the scales and the scales aren't changing. They're coming down still, and I'm thinking I'm getting fatter. So it's a tough one, and it's just a mental battle. And like I say, a lot of people, they lose weight. And I tell you this, and this is quite a cold hard truth, to be honest with you. A lot of people think they're unhappy because they're overweight. And it's like, a lot of people think they're unhappy because they've not got money, right? And then they might go and win the lottery. Guess what? You're still unhappy, aren't you? And that tells you weren't unhappy because you didn't have a lot of money. There's something else at hand. But we tend to put, because everyone, or it seems like everyone's fighting with their weight. It seems like everyone's struggling with money. The news, cost of living crisis, and it's not reality, is it? All these cost crises, there's still people buying around it. Since this cost of living crisis, I've seen more brand new 150 grand Range Rovers than I've ever seen, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people can afford them, they're all on tick and this, that, and the other, but yeah. So I think a lot of people I'm unhappy because I'm overweight. People lose their weight and get down to a healthy weight, and they're like, I'm still unhappy. But rather than actually realizing maybe the reason you were unhappy wasn't because you were overweight, maybe the reason was something else, right? You just attribute everything to our weight. right? And then what a lot of people do is, oh, I thought I'd be happy when I got down. Maybe I now need to be 9 stone, not 10. And then you get down to 9 stone and you're still unhappy. So maybe I now need to be 8 stone, 9. Eating disorder, right? That's what you're creating. You're creating an eating disorder. The honest truth is, a lot of us are unhappy. Like, if I look, don't get me wrong, at 37 stone, I'm rock bottom, and my body trapped me. But, you know, when I look back at when I, 26, 27, 28, whatever, early, and I'm really happy. I was like, yeah, my obesity contributed and it held me back a lot. But like the job I was doing, when I started my weight loss journey, I actually started a new profession because back to uni before I started my weight, and I managed to, and I did all this while a bit of a breakdown, to be honest with you. Well, I did have a breakdown. I've talked about that. So I went back to uni in September 2013, just after my dad passed away. And as a bit of a legacy to him, I did my accountancy qualifications. And I did them in a year, basically, because I'd worked as an accountant for my dad for years and years and years. That wasn't my main job. I did it weekends, bookkeeping and this, that, and the other. And the exam board that I went with, I basically just paid to sit the exams, the level 2 and 3 exams, and then I did my level 4 over here and passed it to become an accountant. And I started a new job, and my plan was I was sort of working part-time for a company, sorting out their finances, and then when I qualified as an accountant, I'd go and be an accountant, maybe set up my own bookkeeping company or something like that. Anyway, as it happened, the company I was working for, I went on and carried on and worked for them for 5 years. But 6 months into my weight loss journey, I was still 30 stone and had been happier than I'd ever been before. And I was still 30 stone. I was still morbidly obese. I was still struggling with movement. I was still having issues with my body due to my size, but I was happy. And it's, I got a new job that I was enjoying. I tackled a lot of issues that, and, cut down on my drinking, sorted out my drinking issues and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm 30, and I literally to this point where if I still morbidly still put up from my body, I literally got to a point where I was like, yeah, this is only exercise. I didn't know how much I'd actually lost, and I didn't weigh myself until the October of the first year. Point where, it's my life now. I can move more, I can bed better, right? In a job that I enjoy, I was happy. Being more content. And maybe, again, that's what 7 stone, still a massive change. I don't know that because I carried on and lost a lot of weight. But a lot of people chase a number of scale because they think that's what makes them unhappy. And I'm not trying to get too psychological in this or anything like that. But if we delve in, right, it's not weight that makes them unhappy. It's very, very common. You're like stone and you're attributing that to your current weight. I guarantee there's bigger factors in. And like I say, I'm not going to be too, I don't want to go, I don't want you to go, oh, cheers, Neil. Yeah, great. Honestly, there'll be other things at play. There will. Does that make sense? Right, let me scan up, see what I've. That's so true. Chasing what we was happy with our mind, 100%. 100%. I think the only reason they're unhappy at the moment is because they're a few pounds overweight. And I'm like, really? A lot of people overweight, right? Just overweight, not married. You they see that's been a situation that they. And I'm not meaning to sound a bit deep, but it is the reality check. And I'm always very, very like conscious of people. So many numbers all the time. And like I say, the honest truth is we need to stop. We need to really stop chasing the numbers. Removal is definitely, I would say it would. I've had 2 done over summer and 1 done in February, and that's better in the summer. Yeah, when you have skin racing, you've got to wear compression and stuff like that, and you might be like, well, that's miles better when it's in winter. In winter, when you have to wear so many layers because it's cold, like it kind of if you can just sit in your compression vest basically without having anything else touch, certainly for the first couple of weeks. Yeah, I just found it easier, and again in summer for me psychologically, I couldn't. Obviously I couldn't train in the gym for 6 weeks, which affected me mentally. But in summer, it is a lot nicer going out for a walk and stuff like that. So, and you can move, to a day or 2 after you've had your operation. They want you out walking. Walking increases blood flow, increasing blood flow increases healing. So, I would recommend anyone, if you can, to have them done over summer. I struggle with skin. Like I said, I've loose skin for 8 years. Where, yeah, here I've got loads of. You can see it wobbling about. It sat there. I can pinch it, right? I'm just like, it just is my loose. It just is what it is. And I used to be so conscious when I was like going on holiday and I put swim, and it's just who I am now. And it's very, very. When we go to Mexico, I get asked by Americans in Mexico because I think obviously things like bariatric surgery, well, health is a lot different over there. Bariatric surgery is a lot different over there. And you can tell I've lost a lot of, if I'm in my swimming trunks, most people can tell that I've lost a decent amount of weight because of my loose skin. It's not just, it's sat there, right? And yeah, yeah, you do get Americans are also lovely people. We always get on really well when we go to Mexico and chat to. We always make more Americans than we do British friends when we go away on holiday. But yeah, they're always very much, oh my God, that was way low. But because I've had a fleur de lis, I also get asked, because I've had fleur de lis, I think I've had heart like these. They're like, if you've got some issues, like, why? It's just like with your scar here. But they can't see the other. I just have a scar that runs down here, right? But you can't see the other down the other side, and the scars under my chest like that, so you can't really see too badly. So no, that's part of my skin removal that I've done. Like, all right, okay. It's I'm just used to it. So like we went to Spendhome and that, and no one asks you anything really. It was like I'm just there on it. I don't even think about it. I used to when I first lost my weight, even after having my skin removal surgery. So I was still like, quite conscious of how I looked in a thing. Have you tried the strong roots cauliflower hash browns? Yes, loads. They're so good. 162. Yeah, they are really nice. Don't less calories than only cauliflower. They're no less calories than a normal is each, just for a normal potato hash brown. But if you do like cauliflower, yes, I've eaten them. I've had all their stuff. It's really decent. And Trullamide protein salted caramel mousse protein dessert I've tried. No one doesn't watch my YouTube channel. Come on. If you don't watch my YouTube channel or follow me on YouTube, go and follow me. I reviewed the salted caramel protein mousse. It's not the best protein mousse I've tried, but it is decent. I'm going to say episode 8, maybe episode 9. Let's see if I can tell you. But yeah, if you don't follow me on YouTube, why not go over to my YouTube? Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,500 subscribers by Christmas. We're at 1,429. So I'm 71 away. Yeah, I'm gaining about 40 or 50 a month, something like that. So 50 a month, I would be just short because we've only got, it's 5 weeks on Wednesday till Christmas. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, please go and follow me on YouTube. That'd be amazing. But yes, I have reviewed the My Protein products over on there. If you want to go and check it out, go check it out. I think it might be episode 8. It tells you in the description which is which. So if you go onto the playlist, it's in the Worth the Calories playlist. There will be a new Worth the Calories video out tomorrow night. Over on YouTube, a new weekly weight loss vlog will be out today. Worth the Calories will be out tomorrow. New recipe video out on Wednesday. And I will have a new podcast out Thursday, Friday as well. Lots of new content coming out this week. What was your light bulb? It's so refreshing seeing a PT that knows struggles. My light bulb moment about this. I'm not going to go into loads. I'm coming off the live shortly. For me, like I had a lot of like when a month before I started my weight loss journey, I was absolutely rock bottom. So to the point where I didn't want to be on this planet anymore, right? So that's where I got to. And I put things into place, so I wasn't going to be on this planet anymore, and it didn't happen. I luckily woke up, and that was my like ping to base it. But it was kind of a culmination of a lot of issues. It was a culmination of a lot of issues. But I did wake up, and I was like, right, okay. And it scared me, scared myself of what I'd done. And I was thankful that I woke up. And from being thankful of waking up, it made me realise, right, well, that's not the option you want to take, but you don't want to live as a 37 stone person anymore. So you've got one other option, and that is basically to sort your shit out. And that was it. That was kind of how it works. You know, it wasn't, one day I'll start losing. It kind of got to that serious point. Well, that's where it did get to. And that was it. And that was it. And because of that, because of how serious it got to, I didn't just play it this weight loss game. And what I mean by that was, it wasn't like, oh, I'll go back to Slimming World. So many people, they try to lose weight because they like the idea of it. And I say this genuinely, when I started my journey in 2014, it was the first time I ever wanted to lose weight. It was the first time I personally ever wanted to do it for me. First time I was like, right, I need to sort this out. Right? And because of that, that drove me on. And then I didn't just jump into a diet. I decided in between Christmas and New Year, right, I'm going to sort myself out. I had two drinking, and one was obviously food. Yeah. So I did dry January in 2014, which I've said this a lot now. It doesn't seem like anything now. I go period at long as a time where I don't have a drink. Right. But then in those days, big. And I actually did it. I actually sponsored because what I do, they're like, yeah, we'll see you next Friday in the pub. I was like, oh, you Friday, but I won't be drinking. It's like, yeah, all right. Wave that first year, you'll be at it. All right. So I set it up and I did. I got sponsored to do it, and I ran for cancer research, which I was chuffed about. And again, that drove me on a little bit because trust me, I struggled. It was hard. It was really hard. And while I was not drinking for a month, I was in my going, right, how are we going to lose weight? And I just decided, I've told this story loads. I'm going to do it totally different than I've ever done it before. That was my thing. So when I thought about doing something, so straight away I was like, well, what's my initial, what am I going to do? Well, done it before, didn't work, not doing it. Right, slim shakes, done them before, didn't work, not doing them. Right, and then I don't know why, it just popped into my head where I remember going to a dietitian in 1988 or 1989, or my GP, and they went, you need to go on a calorie controlled diet. I said, I tried to lose weight a million times over 30 years ago. And I think because I'm a numbers person, the numbers just clicked in, right? I was like, right, let's control my calories. That's it. And I did all the whatever. I'm not going to eat a takeaway ever again. I'm not going to eat this ever again. And I kind of did that head. And then I was like, you've done that before. You've done that before millions of times. I'm not eating this, I'm not eating that. So let's not do that again. Let's still have a takeaway, but let's just have one a week instead of 5 a week. Right? Let's have some crisps and chocolate, but let's have crisps on a Wednesday and a Friday or Saturday or whatever, instead of 6 bags every day. Let's just be a bit more responsible with it. And it just escalated from there. And every time I thought of doing something, if I'm not doing that again. And that's why it was, I did it. I always say it's totally different than I've ever done it before. You know, I've said it last week. In the past, I was like, I never taught. Every time I tried to lose weight, I didn't tell anyone. This time I was singing it from the rooftops. People unfriended me on Facebook because they were sick of me posting about it. I didn't care. Right? I know I did my job, and I want to say that, but now it's the real your account. If you don't want to see a lot of bills and food and this, that, and the other, don't follow the real hospital. It's fine. All right? But there's no Neil Scott Facebook. People say very, very low. So yeah, that was it. So, and I was singing it from the rooftop. This is Lord, I'm going for times a day in the world. And from it, it was just I just used to put. I didn't put pictures and social media. It just didn't seem quite as it was nowadays. But you know, I talked about it. I don't talk about it as much now in terms of like private life and stuff. I try and I need a bit of a step back because it is my job. Where it wasn't then, it was a job. So and that was I sung it from the rooftop. I never done, and it just escalated. I was doing when I started my journey. I never knew how people might perceive it or people make inspiration from it. Just 6 months into my journey, I didn't even know how much weight I'd lost. I get people coming up to me, pub that were half the size I was, going, "Can you help me on mine? How have you done it?" Because I've been doing it for 6 months. I stick to weight loss journeys for 6 months. Like 6 months in, and I'm still losing. 12 months in, and I'm still losing. And people are like, "How are you doing it? How are you doing it?" And I would tell them lose weight eating Chinese. It's like, now just have one a week. I mean, course some rice. Where previously at Chinese, I'd order 3 starters, salt and pepper chips. And don't get me wrong, I love eating that. I want to eat that, but I can't. But, so I just have a main course and I love it, and it fits in with my calories. I don't feel guilty eating it. I'm not overeating. I enjoy it. I've enjoyed food since 2014. I've enjoyed food more than I've ever enjoyed food because everything I eat is zero guilt. There's no guilt around anything because whether I'm eating, last night I had the caramelized biscuit bomb from Aldi. That's one of the Christmas puddings, right? Half of that pudding, 450 calories. With custard, it was over 600 calories, right? And I enjoyed every mouthful of it. Zero guilt. Not, shouldn't be eating this. Oh my God, this is making me fat. How can it make me fat? I burned 24,000 calories a week. This week, I ate, weight loss vlog, I'm going through it. I went over my new ideal deficit, 18,200. I think I went over by 600 or 700. But it doesn't matter, right? I ate 18,750 calories a week. I burned 24,000 calories. How can I feel guilty when I'm consuming way less calories than I burn? I can't, right? All fits in. So, let me go back. Yeah. So I ate 18,257 calories last week, and I burned about 3,400 a day. What do you want? Hello? Are you coming to say hello? Come here. We've got a guest. We've got a guest for the last 2 minutes. Hello. What do you want? Have you not seen me for an hour? Has anyone else got a cockapoo that, like, if they don't see you for an hour, are just like absolutely all right, chilling your beans. Say hello. Say hello. Hello. Oh, yeah, I know. You probably want something. You probably want a treat. You want a treat? No? Oh, hello. Hello, yes. That's you. You see yourself. Yeah, there's no guilt. I don't have any guilt eating. Is that it? You done now? You going? You going? Go on. Bye-bye. Okay, just have to come and say hello. Yes, there's no guilt of eating. There's no guilt of eating anymore. How can there be guilt? Like, yes, so I burned 23,800 calories in a week, right? So how can I, when I'm eating something, yeah, it's 600 calorie pudding, can't feel guilty. It's in my calories. Always has to get involved when I'm on Zoom meetings. Oh, the doggy. Oh, there's so many. I always, because she's a cockapoo, obviously, so she's off. Well, she's an F2 cockapoo, so she's like second generation. So I don't know if there's more poodle or more spaniel that's come through the chain, as it were. But certain things she doesn't like, that's spaniel. And there's certain things she doesn't like. Is that poodle? I've never had poodle. I've never had spaniels before, but we've got friends that have poodles and friends that have spaniels, and they always say, because like she chases birds. Like you go to the beach and she will run for a mile after a seagull, and they're like, yeah, that's spaniel. But then she does other things like, yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, that's poodle. I never know if the neediness is poodle or spaniel. I don't know if it's poodle or spaniel, the neediness. But anyway. Milo is a Velcro. Oh, yeah. You got to be used to that with him. Yeah, you ain't getting rid of him. I've got a toy poodle and she's exactly the same. Oh, so that might be poodle. That's cool. I've never seen dogs before. So adorable. Archie Kate. Yeah, they do come on. They do come and pay attention. Blossom more than Betty. Betty's not interested. But Blossom will come and make an appearance every now and then. Yeah. Did you meet your wife before or after the weight loss? During, actually. I was about 9. Me and Rach met January 2015. So I started my journey in February 2014. So about 11 months. So just after starting. I can talk about weight. Still do to this day, even at work. Everyone knows I used to be 20. Yeah, and I think, like I say, try and step back now because a job. Before it wasn't. I just talked about it like as a thing. Now it's my job. I do when I'm like out and about. Not because people are frustrated, just for a break for me. Because I do talk about it. I mean, you know, which I love doing. I love doing, and it is my passion, and I'll never get bored of talking about it. But sometimes to take a little step back at times. Anyway, let me scan up. I missed anything. I don't think I missed anything. Right, you lovely people. I'm going to jump. I'm going to kiss my legs for 5 minutes, jump straight on and do the weekly weight loss vlog. That'll be out on YouTube later on, 6 p.m. I've got my check-in to discuss. We'll go through my eating. Obviously, I had a bit of a night out on Saturday night. So how did I do over the weekend? Well, you kind of know where my calories have ended up at the end of the week. If I've got any pictures, I'll post them of what I've been eating. So we'll get the weekly weight loss vlog done. I am back. I'm back on TikTok live later and YouTube and Facebook as well. So yeah, going forward, now I've got this semi-sorted out, this Restream software. I'm best in the world. You know, some people have said sound issue and connection. It's just the way it's the best I can do if I'm trying to stream to multiple platforms at a time. But Monday morning and evening lives and Thursday morning and Thursday lives will be dual stream. So a little bit over here, a little bit over here. Any lives that I do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday will just be exclusive to TikTok. So if anyone over here doesn't follow me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. But if anyone on here would be like, yeah, if you're live, it'd be easier for me to follow you, watch you on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, do what you want, or Facebook. Right, yeah, that's me. I'm done for today. So have a great weight loss Monday, new weight loss week, new set of calories in the bank, step count 0. We've got 5 full weeks to go until Christmas. Oh, before I jump off, the last start date for my one-to-one plan is today for 2020, a week today for 2024, the 25th of November. So you can still get going. You've got until Wednesday, Thursday this week to sign up. Any sign-ups after Wednesday, Thursday this week, if you sign up next Monday, a week today, you will start on the 6th of January. Now, if you sign up today, I will write your plan up there. I will get it sent over straight away-ish. right? But you're not going to start officially checking in with me. So if you want to kind of dabble with it yourself and see your calories, fine. But you will officially start on the 6th of January. So if you start a week today, you will still get 2 check-ins with me before Christmas. So we can still check in a couple of times, make sure that you're happy with plan, make sure and then it kind of see it now as a foundation for starting in January. So you'll get your plan, you know exactly what you're going to be doing, right? And boom, and then bang, you can get at it. As soon as you sign up, you get instant access to the community. And it's Black Friday next week, isn't it? And I've recently reduced my one-to-one plan, but I have done an extra discount. It's nothing major, but it's still an extra little discount. So if you sign up, but I've done this discount on everything. Boss your weight loss, boss your protein, not boss your protein, boss your weight loss, boss your diet, and boss your workouts related. 25% off everything. So the community, you can sign up to the community now for a whole year for 75 quid. One-off payment, £75. So anyone now, if you're currently just a community-only subscriber and you're like, I like the community and I don't want a monthly direct debit going out of $9.99 a month. So my community is £5 the first month, right? And it's $9.99 after that. Until a week on Friday, 75 quid. Use code Black Friday at checkout. You can get the whole year for 5 quid. That's like, I don't know what it is. What's 75 divided by 12? It'll be something like, I don't know, it'd be £6 a month. It's like 7 quid. Less than that. £6.50 a month. A whole year's access into the community. Again, 25% off the one-to-one yearly sign-up. So if you're brand new and you want a whole 12 months worth of weight loss coaching, 260 quid. £260, and you'll be covered. I'll start you on Monday, and you'll be covered until the end of November 2025. All right, for 260 quid, one-off payment. Again, my e-cookbooks, my workouts, you know, start at £5 workout, 25% off, the £3.75 each. Go get out. So Black Friday will get you 25% off, loads of stuff. Just use it out. All right. If you've got any questions about, first tab in my link tree is an inquiry form. Send over an inquiry. There's links in my link tree to sign to everything. Get over to the website and save yourself a few quid if you're thinking of coming on board. Right, TikTok. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you at 8 p.m. tonight. Have a great Monday. And now, YouTube, Facebook. Yes, I'll be back on 8 p.m. tonight on the dual stream.